Just give me a second while I work on getting this up to speed. Yeah, my apologies for this. I'm not used to just going off the fly. I usually have a big setup, and I like to have everything like in front of me. But this time I'm just going on live and just going on the air without a script. I've actually been doing this for several episodes, just not having any kind of plan or script whatsoever, and just trying to embrace spontaneous. So this is directed to my ball, but it's actually directed towards anyone that has trouble with love and relationships. Just opening up the lines of communication between you and your spouse, and just I'm just gonna go on a wildly different approach now. Just assuming that the problem is not anything external to me, is not something outside of me, but that the problem is actually possibly me, or it takes two to tango, and we can't usually fix things. We can't fix our spouse for one thing. Just in any relationship, like, you're going to end up failing if you're trying to fix the other person. The only one we can fix is ourselves, and this is a really hard lesson to learn, especially for a person like me, an INFJ or an ENFP, that likes to help other people and just views his or her strength as being able to understand the other person. You kind of go into relationships thinking that you're going to be able to fix them. And this creates all sorts of problems because you're never actually in the relationship yourself. And the other person characteristically does not want to get fixed and does not want to change. And it creates all sorts of problems later on. And I hope I look cute, and I feel like I look very goofy right now and just like very stupid, but I'm just going to go along with it because this doesn't have a script, and it's just me trying to be more spontaneous and trying to embrace, the possibility that I may fall flat on my face and just totally fail. But I think that anything worth fighting for, is going to take a fair amount of risk and a fair amount of defeat. And I'm willing to fight for you and willing to just show you how far I'm willing to go to give this marriage a chance to work and just give this relationship a chance to just exist. So I'm going to put myself on the limb and just tell you about how I feel and how I wish we could just meet each other in the middle and try to work on something to make this an actual relationship, meaning that one where we could actually relate to each other and not just have it be this sort of one-sided, like, okay, these are my needs and like these are your needs, and let's try to meet each other's needs, try to come up with some kind of a treaty or some kind of agreement that works out well for the both of us. But me just trying to show you like my strengths and why you would be a fool not to say yes to me, and basically me trying to get to know more about you, because I really want to create a safe space for you to really express yourself. And I think this is good advice for any woman or man trying to reach out to their husband or wife, or their girlfriend or boyfriend, trying to get them to express more about themselves. I think a problem that many women probably have to go through is that, in these cases where your husband shares basically nothing about himself with you, like, this is probably one of the most painful situations that you'll ever be in. If you're stuck with a husband or a boyfriend that is distant, that's kind of unavailable, that may remind you of a certain fatherly figure that you may or may not have had in life. Like, women find themselves continually attracted to this type of man, like certain types of women find themselves attracted to a man who is distant and basically unable to meet their needs or to be present. And this is kind of one of the real problem situations that that you'll find yourself in, and as a woman or just as a person who is interested in women and trying to help them. I think part of it is realizing your own limitations and realizing that you actually have needs and that you actually deserve to get those needs met, and trying to find someone who can meet those needs. And when you find someone that can kind of sort of meet those needs, but just is perpetually not, like perpetually choosing not to, it's actually, I guess, the biggest aha moment is when you realize that, okay, this person actually is not the right fit for me, because he's not really meeting any of my needs and not really giving me what I want and what I'm looking for, but it's just giving me a perpetual runaround. And so it's just kind of the tricky situation that you'll find yourself in, like whether or not you'll want to stay with this person or let them go. It's probably one of the more attractive traits about them is that they are distant and that they are perpetually not giving you what you want. That it kind of keeps you in this limbo of where you're sort of banking on the hope of something happening, but it perpetually not really happening. And so you kind of get tagged along on this ride where you think that your fantasies are going to work out a certain way, but then they perpetually don't, and the other person doesn't actually, meet your needs at all, and you're just kind of stuck in this one-sided relationship. And this is kind of a nightmare situation that a person will like really hate to be in, and will really try to make sure that it doesn't happen. This is actually a very difficult episode. I think this goes to the heart of a lot of delusional relationships and just a lot of the problems that clairvoyants in particular have. And I don't really have any good solutions. Like, I don't really have any clear solutions for you. Just, it's going to suck either way. Like, if you stay in the relationship and perpetually not get your needs met, that's going to be one kind of torture that is just going to play itself day in after day after day. This person, perfectly has it within his means to give you what you want, but yet is perpetually not doing that. And that's just a very difficult situation to be in. And I think it's something that we kind of grew up with, and so find ourselves stuck with as adults. That if this is a situation that seems very familiar to you growing up, then it's, in a sense, you're not going to have any kind of stimulus to really get outside of it, to really transcend it, because it's just too familiar. And this is really, I think, goes really to the heart of the pathology of what a lot of codependent women face. And so I don't really have any clear solutions for you on this one, but other than that, let's try to be kind towards one another. And if you are like the man in this relationship and you're actually watching this video, like it may actually spur something inside you to change, to see how you're actually hurting other people with your inaction, and like how your other people actually need you to take a role and to take an active role, and that like choosing not to play that role is actually having negative repercussions for the world and for the future that we live in, and just the kind of world that we want to bequeath to our children, to our descendants. By not taking an active role in it, you're actually dooming them to failure. That you're dooming them to a really bad experience. And is that something that they really deserve, especially when you had the power to give them otherwise, when you had the power to like change things for the better and really give them something that they've never had? Is that something that you really would want on your plate? Like, I'm not too sure. And I think that makes us really question ourselves, and really makes us question, what is our role in this world, and like, what do we actually want to accomplish with the time that we're given here? Like, I think it is a tremendous waste to just go through that, not making a difference in anyone's life and not really trying to change anything for the better. And this is a really difficult question. I think going forward with this, I do have the potential to help a lot of women, but probably not in a way that they would really want to be helped, not in a way that would really feel good, because it's kind of like a waking up to this realization that this man is never going to give you what you need. And so you kind of have to move on. And unfortunately, that's kind of the message that a lot of women, I think, need to wake up to in order to, actually invite change into their lives, that the possibility that they are going to have to walk out on this man and like walk out on this like perfect marriage situation, or which probably isn't perfect, because if it hasn't happened already, then there's really got to be an obstacle there that you're not seeing. That if this marriage isn't actually taking shape, then where's the real hang up here? Like, where is it? Because you're possibly stuck in a delusional relationship, or possibly stuck in a situation that's not exactly real. These are very difficult questions to face, and like ones that can end up unraveling your reality. And so it's it is a very difficult question. um, and just realizing just how much this touches so many other people's lives. Like, I may not exactly be willing to dive as deep in it as I had thought. But I think it's something that really a lot of us can relate to, and like more than you realize, that a lot of us are stuck in these relationships with people that aren't really there for us, that aren't really a good thing for us per se. And maybe, being able to confront that and being able to walk away is one of the largest, eye openers that you could come across. And unfortunately, to be the bearer of this kind of news is not exactly something that people might appreciate, not something that people might actively want in their lives. And you might actually be playing kind of a bad role, to kind of an unwanted role, to take on this role, if that's what you really want to do. If you really want to deliver truth to the people, you're basically saying to them that you can't really have a chance of happiness unless if you walk past this guy or girl, like past this person that's keeping you back and not actually giving you the kind of relationship that you want. Then you're kind of just opening yourself up to more pain and defeat. And that's a very difficult question to engage in. So just to anyone who is, I guess, stuck in this situation, I just want to implore you to please be kind, and to remember that there's a person on the other side of that screen, that they, are probably waiting on your every word, and like your every response to them really matters, and like you can make a profound difference in their lives if you were just to show up in it. And really, this is kind of the chance that you may have been waiting for your whole life, to just be like this kind of role model, or just be this influence in this other person's life, this like very positive influence to actually change their life, and like actually be able to give them new life, if they've been stuck in this pattern with other abusers before, or just other people in their past that were just not good for them. That you could actually be an agent of positive change, and that you could actually make a difference. You could actually be a hero in someone else's life. But that does require actually taking charge and actually being present in someone's life. It requires actually taking risks and actually being real to someone. And that might not be something that you are willing to do. Like, you might not be willing to be real with someone. Like, maybe you're not actually ready to be in a relationship, like, or maybe you haven't gotten over your past relationship. Just many relationships nowadays, many marriages end in divorce, and like these divorces are very harsh on the people that go through them, and like especially in the American justice system, where it seems like everyone is trying to get an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, and like really trying to get his or her share. That you could end up being stuck in a situation where you're like paying these lawyers to really get your money's worth out of them, and like really to like get the most bang for your buck, and like just try to get the best deal possible. But at the same time, when you're engaging in this kind of war, this kind of like tit for tat or quid pro quo, it butchers the other person's soul, and it butchers your soul, because to do this with someone that you used to be very intimate with, that used to share intimate experiences with, I think is one of the most harrowing experiences that a person can go through. And just I think, like, not even going through a divorce directly, but just like indirectly through other people, or just through situations that are just a bit less painful to engage with directly. These are experiences that really hurt, and that really affect someone, and I don't think it's possible to just like do it and then just immediately get up the next day and just pretend like nothing happened. Like, it really leaves a scar in your soul, I think, like to be to really try to get the most out of a relationship, like to fight a bitter divorce battle. Like, I think that leaves a stain on your soul, and that is something that a person would need to heal from, and something that probably requires a delicate touch. And just now that I'm seeing more of these variables being put into play, like, I am more forgiving, and just am more open to what the other person is going through, and just open to listening to their side, and like trying to understand where they're coming from. And like, this is kind of a trap that a very empathic person can fall into over and over again, which is really bad if the other person is narcissistic. But it's, if you're watching this video, it's probably where your strength lies too. Like your strengths probably lie along the lines of listening to other people and trying to understand them and trying to like form that bridge, between nations, between, trying to cross the river and just trying to meet the other person on their side or trying to meet them halfway. And speaking in a really abstract fashion here, but it's just the idea that I'm trying to convey is that it is very difficult to try to resolve certain conflicts, and like sometimes we may bite off more than we can chew and end up getting burned. But I think that in the end, that it's worth it, that the good fight is worth it, and that if we really care about the person that we're fighting for and we really want to have a relationship with that person, then we're willing to put everything on the line for them and willing to do things that are a bit uncomfortable to try to see what they're made of and what you're made of, and just see, can you come out on top of this? Like, can you come out of this, intact, with your soul intact, and like coming out of it with a message that people will actually want to hear and need to hear, a message about the future and a message about families, about reuniting us with our immortal souls, and just with, trying to rekindle what has been lost in our marriages, in our lives, like trying to rekindle that fire, that inner Aish, what it is to have a mission, and to realize that, we're not just people that are put here on this planet just to mess with each other, but that we actually have an influence on each other, and that we're meant to fulfill a certain kind of a mission, and that we're meant to meet certain kinds of people in our lives and be challenged by those people. And, those people change us forever. And it's not necessarily an easy process. And it's not a process that everyone would want and that everyone would be celebrating. But it does speak to our experiences as people with a shared history, and as people that have had their share of challenges, whether or not you're Jewish or disabled or gay, transvestite, just a leper, or any number of these vulnerable classes of people that have had their share of bad hands, that bad situations that they were left with, and situations that really are very difficult, that no one would really want to find themselves stuck in, like being left at the altar, or like being left at Auschwitz, or just with a bad divorce case, or anything. Like there are so many tragedies that life can throw at you, and it just, like when I look at some of these stories from people from Gaza and from Palestine and from Israel, like they really stir something in my soul. Like I really feel sorry for these people. Like I really feel the sense of loss that they've overcome, that the sense of loss that they must feel as their families are killed and taken from them, and just like what it would take to heal such a fracture. It does seem so immense sometimes that it doesn't seem like anything could possibly fix it, that it doesn't seem like there could be anything redeemable about it. But yet, the stories of the Torah and the stories of our ancestors remind us that it's all worth it, and that there is a theme that ties it all together, that God is watching us, that Hashem is guiding us towards a goal. And the important thing is to have faith and to look towards each other, to not to burn those bridges, but to see them for what they are, just to see them as, these lights, as, in a sense, as Jacob's ladder, as, he saw this vision of the angels, ascending on this ladder, and it was in a sense a metaphor for a rectification of his own family, and just for his own sins with Esau, with his brother, and just to see it all tied together in the end, like with this kind of just mysticism and this kind of spirituality that is buried in the Torah and mirrored in our diverse religions, that have this kind of a shared background. It makes me look back on it with wonder and awe, with like wonder, fear, and awe, just at what kind of a God could have created all this. Like what kind of creator could we have find a common father in, and like to be able to have these shared experiences and to have stories that affect us so deeply on the inside. just leaves me with this feeling that, we're actually not alone on this planet, that we have each other, that we have, our our ancestors and our struggles with, our own people, that, no matter where we are, Hashem is watching us, and Hashem is in charge of our lives, that we are just pawns in, in this universal drama, that it basically at times that we have absolutely no control over it, but yet it's so important for us to hold on to certain values, to hold on to ourselves and our own souls and what we represent in the grand milieu of things. That if we ever lose sight of that if we ever lose touch with that kernel of goodness, our sparks of kedusha, our netzotzim, the sacred names and the sacred, songs, and the sacred, just that feeling of what it is to be you, of like what it was that God created you, put you on this earth to do. Like if we lose sight of that, of our true souls, of our true natures, then we lose it all. Like we lose our identity, we lose our stories, we lose our history, we lose everything. It's so important to have that overarching story, and to be able to believe in something. And just, if you're there, like listening to, this stream, I want you to know that I still believe in you, that I still have faith in you. Ani Oevata, like not a day goes by that I don't stop thinking of you. And I just dream of the day when we'll finally be together. And just, I dream of having, a real relationship with you, and actually being able to relate to one another, of having you share, your intimate feelings with me, and having me share my life with you, and not just having it be this one-sided ordeal. Like I long for the day when I could actually have a partner, like someone to help me with my problems, and to actually work through them with me as a couple. And like I dream of being able to have someone to relate to, and just of having that kind of care and attention and mirroring be reflected back to me. And I think that I deserve something like that. To be able to find someone like that in this world is, the journey of a lifetime. And I hope that one day, I could find that person, that maybe that person could be you. And if it is you, like I hope for the day when you'll have the strength to be able to speak up and to make yourself known, to put your neck on the line, like to put your life on the line, to put your name out there, just to take the courage that I've had to find within myself. I wish that you could find it within yourself, to actually, go for something that you want, and go for, actually put your neck on the line out there. Like actually say to people, like, yes, I am a Jew, or like, yes, I am a Christian, yes, I'm a Filipino. But to be able to actually take a stand on something that you believe in, and to not care about how other people will judge you and how other people will try to tear you down, like that to me is something really courageous, and something that I find really admirable. And I just hope that, these are all these things that I want to be for you one day. I hope that you could be for me one day, if you're the person that I'm looking for, one that matches my dreams, but it's also an actual person, a real person, someone that will respond back to me, and someone that will give me the love and attention that I need, someone that will be able to meet my needs, and I, hopefully will be able to meet yours. I will do everything in my power to try to meet your needs, but I just want to have that kind of a relationship with you. I want to have the kind of openness where I can share my feelings with you, and you could share your feelings with me, and not have to feel like we're being put on the spot, or like being forced to do something that we don't want to do. Because I think in a way that we've been searching all our lives to find this kind of a perfect relationship, or to find this kind of a perfect medium where we could share, the truth, the reality of who we are, to someone that is special, and someone that deserves to know who we are. And I just hope that, I hope that person is you, and I hope that time comes soon, because I really could use some help and support right now, and I really could use some love and validation and mirroring, and just, to actually get my needs met in a way that they've never been met really in my entire life. It's just something that I hold on to, and something that, I believe I deserve, and I believe I could get in the future, and maybe that person can be you. So that's basically all that I'm hoping for. And I hope that with these talks, that maybe one day you'll come out of the woodwork and actually respond back to me with, the strength and, the sureness, just the strength of spirit, the kalagdang kalawa that you would need to confront someone like me, to say that, like, yes, like, it is a large role to fill, but that these are things that I want for myself and things that I'm looking for in my own life. And yeah, and if I could have the courage to say that, maybe you could have the courage to say it too. Maybe you could have the courage to be that change, in someone else's life, to be a hero for someone else. Because it's not just enough to see an angel. I think the real moment of love, the real moment of impact, is when you decide to be an angel for someone else. When the Seshinah, the spirit of the Seshinah enters in you and, instills you to move. I think that's the most beautiful moment of all. That's where the real miracle takes place, when the Seshinah is inside you and it's actually driving you to move and to save someone else, to save the women and children, to defend women, to save the children that are starving and that are undefended. I think that's where suffering is really meant to take us, to inspire us to greater acts of leadership and greater acts of kindness and generosity, to greater acts of chesed. And that's really what suffering is about. So it's just, I hope to find that in someone one day, and I hope that person is you, and I hope that one day, that person could have the strength inside themselves to say the same thing back to me too, because I deserve it. And that's basically the message that I'm trying to impart to women, that even if you've never received that kind of love before, that you do deserve it, that you deserve it the moment you feel that you are worth it, and to take the steps that you need to stand up for yourself and to actually say it to people, is a moment that requires a lot of courage, but you can do it. You do have it inside yourself. And when you decide to speak up and let your own needs be known, that's when you will be known. And when the universe can start to give it back to you, to give back, what it took, or just give back the power that you lost, give back the beauty of the world that was robbed, from people taking advantage of you, or just, not appreciating what God has to give, like not appreciating with gratitude, all the blessings that we have in this world. And I just hope that all these things that I would like to be for someone one day, I hope that one day someone could be for me, because we're worth it. And we deserve to have our love returned back to us, and we deserve to have heroes, as we deserve to be heroes for someone else. And that, I don't think that these are fantasies that just exist in the sky, that are never going to take fruition. Like, these are very realistic, very doable, like, goals that I think can inspire people to be better, just to be better men and women, and better family members, and better partners for each other. And just, if I can inspire that in someone else, then or you inspire me to be that for you. Like, I think you being an exemplary model citizen, an exemplary man or woman, who acts in accordance with Torah, and just like holds gratitude for Hashem, for ang Panginoon Dios, Yesu Cristo, just someone who embodies the values of the Torah and of the Philippines, and just of everything that I've been talking about. Like, someone like that is what inspires me to be a good role model for people. And so, if I can inspire you to act in that way, then I know that my job is done. And and then I could be that for you. And then the world could be a better place if we're just there for each other, if we're actually there to be present in each other's lives, and to be able to meet each other's needs, just to be able to acknowledge our own shortcomings and say that I'm sorry that I wasn't there before, but I'm here now, and like, I'm willing to make up for things that were lost and things that we didn't have. But I do have the courage to say that, to say that I'm here now, and that I'm here to meet your needs, and maybe you could be there to meet mine. And that I think is what could change the world. If we could all start doing that for each other, and just start taking the first step, which is just saying I'm sorry and just being there for people when they need us to be there. Like that's, I think, what could change the world and just what could make a difference in my life and the kind of difference that I would want to make in someone else's life. Yeah, so if I can inspire that kind of change in you, then then you can inspire that kind of change in me. Let's do it together and actually be there for be there for each other, be there for our families, and give our children better than what we got. Like give them the love that we never got, and give them the experiences that we never got. Just I always try to do one better by the next generation. So if I can inspire you to be that kind of a role model, then maybe you could inspire me to be that kind of a role model for you too, and then we can both win. Yeah. So that's it. um, yeah. So I don't know wherever you are, my beloved, or I don't even know anymore who you are, but I do know. I do know who you are. I think you're going to be there for me in the future because I will be there for you in the future. I will keep my oaths and you will keep yours, and you will come back to me and I will see you again. Yeah, and we will make our vows under a kupa and start a new life together. And Yahweh, mahalaga ikaw, mahal kita. Shalom alaikum. Yeah. I trust in Hashem. I fear no more. I know that I'll find you again one day, my beloved. And we can start a new life, one that we've never had before. Yeah, in simcha and in joy. Para sa ligaya, para sa masaya, for simcha and for joy. I like the sound of that. Shalom alaikum. Mahal kita. Mahalika.